click the links for Odysee and BitChute. So Waters is legitimately dumb, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, like, low IQ. Like, if you gave her a puzzle, she and Nancy Pelosi would be just racing to the bottom to try to figure out what the hell they were looking at. But not only are they dumb, but they're in positions of power. The 19th Amendment was probably a mistake. So she made a very, very weird comment. And the thing is with Twitter is, if you're on social media and if you're on Twitter, you know it's not a fair playing ground. There are people, if you remember the Covington Catholic kids, there are people who threaten violence against them, doxing these children to cause them harm. They're still on Twitter, no problem. Where if you so much as breathe against the protected class or against a blue checkmark celebrity, you're kicked off. Anyway, so Maxine Waters, in her goggles and mask, who's been in office for 16 terms. I'm sure she's done a lot for her district. She's actually a millionaire who owns several homes, and I don't think she resides in her district. She lives in one of her other mansions. Go, well, that's kind of weird in government salary. How did she become a multi-millionaire? Some might mention insider trading, again, with her and Nancy Pelosi. They say technically the Securities and Exchange Commission can't go after them because it's not insider trading, because Nancy Pelosi's husband made the trades. Still, it seems like it's inside information. But the problem with having a country that is not a nation, it's a commercial zone, is things get slippery. And the FBI gets slippery, and the Department of Treasury gets slippery, and people, they don't have a common goal, a common principle. There's nothing uniting them other than money. So if the Treasury Department, the FBI, Homeland Security are all getting it, you get a country that starts to turn into Mexico. Or if that hits a little too close to home to you, how about Italy? Where things get sloppy and slippery, and like everything gets less and less efficient, and bureaucracy gets bigger and bigger, and the country kind of slows down, and it stops advancing, and it just, no offense to Italy or Mexico, but it's like, those aren't countries that are, they're not setting the world on fire with new innovations and bringing new things to market, or even scientific discoveries. Things are much slower there because they're dealing with all these layers of bureaucracy, and it's like, it's what you get when America is turned into a commercial zone, which happened a few decades ago, but it is what it is. The only white pill is that now with social media, all of a sudden you've got millions of people who can make an attempt to keep our representatives honest, except now, not only do we need to keep these people honest, we need to keep the media honest, because now we've learned through social media, the media has taken off their mask, that we've seen that they're parasites, they're just vermin, they're as bad as the politicians. They carry water for left-wing politicians, and even if you're on the left wing, you know it. You know that CNN is insanely biased, and like if you're on the far left, you don't think they're, they're still, they're biased, but you don't think they're biased enough. It's like the far left looks at the moderate left as, I don't know, like corporate Hillary Clinton stuff. Anyway, so she's been in term for 16 years. She goes to a protest, and this is the second time she said something. Some have mentioned treasonable causes of action. She's recorded on video demanding a guilty verdict from the jury, and urged protesters to get more confrontational if the guilty verdict doesn't come back. Now, this is an issue because the trial, Sixth Amendment right to trial, if I remember right, is due process, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment due process. It's one of the big foundations of civilization, of Western civilization, of laws, of the concept of facing your accusers and challenging evidence, presenting evidence, a jury of your peers, trying to make things as fair, putting the burden on the state to protect an innocent man as much as possible. And she seems to be saying that if she doesn't get the results she wants, she'll get more confrontational. Well, then why even have a trial if you're threatening? It seems like you're threatening violence if you don't get the result you want. That's just the lynch mob and a witch trial, which, you know, the Kathleen Kennedy Club was known for. And before that, the witch trials. It's like, this is it. Are these real trials? Or this is due process. If you're saying you no longer respect due process because you're appealing to emotion and you're threatening violence, then we have a very, very serious, I mean, like a country-ending problem. Or the country's going to be here and the people are going to be here. The states, well, those are, I mean, countries change. They don't, if you're saying you no longer want to have due process, and I heard a speaker at a BLM speech 2 days ago who was complaining about the Bill of Rights and said we need to get rid of the Bill of Rights. And even people who are listening on the live stream, like they're across the spectrum, they heard that and they're like, yeah, we don't trust you if you're the representative of an authoritarian, totalitarian government. If you're saying you want someone like her to be your Bill of Rights, yeah, I don't. I think we're in trouble. Yeah, plot twist, we're in trouble. So there was a drive-by shooting in the National Guard after she said her threats, demanding a guilty verdict and threatened violence show when it's found not guilty. This is an also abuse of power. Expel Maxine Waters. She's a danger to society. Well, Trump was kicked off Twitter for saying we need to have a peaceful protest, and it was mostly peaceful, right? Didn't cause the billions of dollars in damage that BLM and Antifa caused. And you know, actually, the BLM riots have been responsible for about 4 dozen departions from this mortal coil. Actually, more people have been deleted in BLM riots than by the police. So, kind of weird. Anyway, go to Odysee, go to BitChute. Censorship on YouTube is so insane that it's not that far away from a point where, like, it's gonna be state-approved CNN, MSNBC media, and cat videos, which is like we might be in a fundamental restructuring. Like, Tim Pool is going to be the edgiest guy on YouTube, and honestly, I look at him and I was like, you know, you are on very thin ice with YouTube. Like, they could get rid of Tim Pool, and you think, oh, Tim Pool's a big name. He's like so milquetoast. Yeah, they could get rid of him. It's like, you're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything. The best thing they could do is get rid of him, because then people would go to Odysee or wherever the hell he is. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will see you all on Alt Media.